The stench of Colorado must have got on him because he's totally 1% billionaires and nobody needs all this money and
because it
all.
all
So he,
feels a little out of our control. I mean, the average citizen, we're just along for the ride. Tech companies are going to tech company,
we
and
getting the data center farm is the new crop farm.
because
Oh,
we are America and we have the Second Amendment. Hate it or love it. It's probably here to stay, at least in the near future.
my son to go to college here, you could have a gun in the college. So again, I see that as I said, I see that as a deterrent because
Everyone says everyone has depression and anxiety and is taking SSRIs and their brains are fucking scrambled from, bed rotting 24.
Got lights on the PX sign. Grab a snack, make the mission in time. Boots on gravel, stories begun. One last lap on a Shoppette Run.
uh, note taken on. Hey, what you cut your videos up with? What you use?
So I usually just use. Are you talking about for making clips?
Yeah.
I just use a built-in AI tool in Filmora, and Filmora is what I use to do my editing or whatever. But they have some of these AI tools, and I just started experimenting with those because prior to that, I was just doing them by hand. I was just doing them by myself. But then I just started using some of these tools, and then I still go clean them up. But it gives you a base, and it pulls out like cool little chunks. It kind of seems to work well. It's smart.
Yeah, I'm using Opus Clips right now. Of course, they keep trying to get you like, oh, you exceeded your tokens for the month or whatever. I'm like, okay, then I'll see you next month. I'm not paying anymore.
Yeah. Smell you later, bro.
Nah, that token thing is going to be an issue, man. But I mean, that's going to be a good segue into what we're about to talk about today, and it's really tech related. I don't know if you got to read the comments from the last episode, but I don't know if somebody, you can't really gauge tone on some tech on some comments or whatever. It was like, oh, it's funny y'all talking about AI and the clip was obviously AI because I don't take the watermarks and everything out of it. Oh, it's funny that you're talking about AI and hence you're using AI. I'm like, I use AI tools. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. But I don't know if you've seen what we're about to watch, but it happened again that folks are doing commencement speeches and they're bringing up AI and it is getting a super negative response on that. So let's go into this one and then we'll just talk about it afterwards.
All right.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution. Oh, whoa. What happened? Okay, I struck a chord. May I finish? Only a few years ago, AI was not a factor in our lives.
So I'll go ahead and start this one. I think we've seen this coming. Everybody's going to be kind of that rebellion of things, whatnot. So I use my own life for example, because my kids are those kids in that audience right there, because they're kind of anti-AI right now. And let me just describe my kids. Like my youngest, he's toxic male. I want to bench this much. I want to squat this much. So he good to go, my book. So then going up, my next child, he's an artist. So pen, pad, digital art, from your brain and creating something, right? So he's anti-AI and anti-AI products, and I say to him, hey, you could draw something in an original product. Let's use it to help if you want to animate it or, to expand it or whatnot. But right now, he is totally against it. My next child above him, he's into theater. So acting, singing, acting, and all that stuff that comes along with that, right? And then my next child above him, that's still there in Colorado, is still in Colorado. I don't know, the stench of Colorado must have got on him because he's totally 1% billionaires and nobody needs all this money and all. I felt no, he just went off the rail. So, but what I'm trying to tell my kids is, when I talk to them is, hey, if you're looking at AI, I use it. I go to the art route. If I want a painting for my house and I go to Ross, I know it's a mass-produced thing that came off some printing press, and I'm just trying to get it to decorate my walls because That's what I need at that time. So in essence, that should make your, if you're about your art and you're putting your heart and soul into it and you're doing it from hand, from mind, from everything, that should make that quality or that price of that product go up. So in turn, that AI could benefit you. Same with the theater. All right, we see a lot of good AI generated videos right now. I seen one with Darth Vader, and they're showing him the suit off and doing all types of cool AI stuff, kind of what ifs and things like that nature. But there is still going to be a portion of the population that's going to want real actors, real emotion, real tangible things. So I'll try to tell my kids like, and I kind of sympathize with these kids here because you're telling them, hey, these are taking the jobs that you probably spent 4 years here trying to get, and those jobs potentially is not going to be here. So you're going to bring that up right now? We're going to be going into an uncertain society right now. So you're kind of getting what you deserve. So the same thing happened to the Google CEO or ex-Google rep or whatever. He said this kind of along the same things and got that same identical response. So is really that really showing that it's kind of a changing of the guard and a changing times in reference to what's the future of employment and society as a whole, in my opinion.
There's so much going on, and it's just the speed that everything is moving at. It makes it difficult to wrap your head around everything that's going on because everything that you said was true, and it's like it's so multi-sided at the same time because on one hand it is enhancing and it is a wonderful tool. It's a great like research buddy. It can help build products, make things efficient, and bring things to life. Like maybe you have an inkling of an idea, and working through the process of using these tools correctly, you can use them to help develop that idea and turn it into something tangible. And it's this crazy resource that we now have access to that everyone can leverage. But at the same time, it's totally easy to understand some of the fear and some of the hesitation and some of the questions of like, what is all of this leading to? I mean, I can imagine finishing up my education, and I just did high school, and then I went and did this degree, and then I'm leading up to graduation, or it's on the horizon. I got all these plans. I'm networking. I'm thinking about my career, and then everything that you start hearing is that like this job is now irrelevant. This thing that you have spent the last 8 years or whatever focused on is completely irrelevant, and now it's for the robots. And you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, because it all feels a little out of our control. I mean, the average citizen, we're just along for the ride. Tech companies are going to tech company, and we're just waiting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. Um, and if anybody just reach anybody ears, I still think real power is people. If people is going to be your network. So even if you get that skill, because me and you, we got skills, certifications, etc., right? But still, in our power in order to get where we was at was people, right? People knew us, and when that resume or that recommendation came across their desk, oh, I know that guy. Pull him in. Let's go ahead and interview him and see if he's right for the position. So I would say to all the folks out there that's a little bit afraid, first learn it. Learn it. It's okay. Go to udemy.com, go to something, go to YouTube University and learn it. It's not going anywhere. Point blank, period. Or whatnot. So I would say, obviously you could fear the unknown, or and prepare for it because it's going to happen. They're spending all this money on data centers. Data centers. We get the data center farm is the new crop farm or whatnot that's going on right now. So I just keep kind of instilling to my kids, hey, it's not going anywhere. Make sure you just staying abreast of the changes and everything that's going on. And if work's going to work, make sure you pick a profession that's still, as you said, kind of moving molecules. That's going to be a tangible thing for the next, for going into your adulthood. Because guess what? You're young enough. That revolution and that thing is going to change again. It's going to change again. So just be prepared too. Any closing comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it. It's adapt or die. Put your big girl, put your big boy pants on, figure it out, and there's no sense bitching about it. it is what it is. So make the most of it. That's the only choice you really have.
Yeah, I'm using all my little products and everything like that. It's definitely and even when I listened to your last podcast, Mind the Formation plug, that old boy was saying, "Hey, no, I used it and it was, it made me super proficient. Well, not proficient, but it made me super um able to do all these tasks and does me." And now we're starting to see where it's going to be the one person business who has agents kind of running in the background and doing some of those things that people do. So again, if he, I'm not the type of person. If he could do it and she can do it, guess what? You could do it too. And I like, oh boy, I guess said that was just a poignant point when he said is I'm my own bottleneck. And in society, we are our own bottlenecks. Learn it or, kind of shit or get off the pot type situation. Uh,
Yeah, man. It is what it is.
yeah. So let's go into this next one here.
Releasing drones onto active school shooters, this system, already installed in 3 campuses in Florida, wants to engage with the attacker within 15 seconds with body slams and pepperball rounds. The US company, co-founded by a former Navy SEAL, has the drones waiting in containers until an alarm is triggered.
Obviously, we kind of work in the field, so we know there's the drone technology and the things that drones are capable of doing right now in a war sense. But now we're talking about having these things in school, and it's kind of disheartening that this active shooter thing has gotten. I mean, we just had, I think, 2 this week, that this active shooter thing has gotten to the point where we're trying to find technologies in order to stop an active shooter at a school or whatnot. So, what do you think about, drone technology in schools? Right now, they talk about kind of ramming into you and pepper balls, but we know what that's going to progress into, right? So, how you feel about that in the public education system or any education?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's an unfortunate scenario that something like this even has to be considered. That is too bad, but it is what it is. We are America and we have the Second Amendment. Hate it or love it. It's probably here to stay, at least in the near future. So, you're not going to get rid of guns, and it's a real threat, and it keeps happening. So I almost think that even though it sounds crazy, I'm kind of here for it. Any defense measures that you can implement that can minimize threat, minimize risk. I mean, those are the processes that we work through, in the military all the time. You're always thinking about, okay, what are the risks? What are the threats? What are the things that we have to consider? And what are we going to deploy or implement to reduce those and ideally make them zero? It equates to the IT field, right? So there's a threat and then there's a fix, and then there's a threat and then there's a fix, at least when you're talking about cybersecurity, right? And it's this endless game. And that's how it works in the tangible physical world as well. This is a thing. Unfortunately, it happens, but you got to do something about it. It sounds a little wild, but those robots will probably handle this better than some sleepy security guard that's hanging out or whatever, you know?
Not the Barney Fife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it something, I'm gonna take the opposite side of that. I mean, I agree with everything you said, but it's like it starts here and then what does it progress to? We already seen robot dogs, patrols and everything like that. So, where does it go? And then when does, I think I want to say it's implicit bias or biasness that, when they kind of code these things they put in there, what kind of biasness are they putting inside of these, inside of the codes and everything like that to make the thing do what it do? Is it gonna, again, is it gonna be coded to discriminate? Is it be coded to do this? So, etc. We're talking about school shooters here. So again, I'm with it. Somebody trying to shoot a kid. I mean, that's one of my, we got high schoolers, right? So that's one of my fears every day, driving my kids off to school and there's something that's out of my control because I'm home or wherever that can't control that. My son to go to college here, you could have a gun in the college. So again, I see that, as I said, I see that as a deterrent because if you're gonna come here and shoot, guess what? Somebody might shoot back at this campus here. So it's definitely interesting where we're going, especially with it. Remember when drones was just, hey, I got my DJI. Let me take some cool photos of overhead of my vacation or whatever. And now, we kind of seen the proliferation when we come to the Ukraine war and kind of seeing how drone technology, I think for the public anyway, how we seeing how the drone technology is being used over there And now we kind of started seeing, now we talking about schools, then we got probably gonna start seeing it in private businesses, etc. So it's definitely, if they get this one off, it's gonna just grow in scale, and whatnot. But again, anything to protect kids while they going to school and just trying to get their damn education, I mean, I'm for it. Whatever. I just want to make sure that obviously that these things are done right also because it's going to start with pepper balls. But we know it's probably going to be a box of pepper balls as the first round. Like, oh shit, this motherfucker is hemped up on something. We got to send the got to send the one with the artillery on it this time. So well, let's see where that go. Any closing
Yeah, I
comments on
mean,
that one?
yeah, it's double-sided 100%. But it's I guess to just I equate it all to the same thing, whether you're talking about AI or drones or physical robots or whatever. It's all moving fast. It's all a little out of our control, so it is what it is. Because I think all those things are going to happen anyways. There's going to be drones as private security buzzing around corporations. Like this is just going to happen. But I guess I would just think that in the ideal situation, and it does sound insane, but you do have these protective drones, and then you've got your fucking Palantir system or whatever that's doing behavioral recognition, just looking for physical signs of like aggression or whatever, and it's just absorbing these things. So there is a little bit of a situation where it's like you could solve those things before they actually happen. You detect a weapon, and then you're watching this person because maybe it is allowed, but you got a little extra eyes on you, and then if there's any suspicious shit going on, the neutralization comes in prior to any sort of execution that the dude was able to pull off. But again, I mean, it's all gonna get crazy regardless.
Yeah.
We're hauling ass down a hill, and it's gonna be ridiculous either way.
So a little rabbit hole question here. What in your mind when you hear these active shooters at these different universities and school, high schools and sometimes elementary schools, what do you think? And I don't know if it's being reported more or if it's happening more. Where do you think is that's stemming from?
It's just it seems to be, predominantly a uniquely American thing, at least in the Western world. And there is accessibility to guns everywhere, but it seems to be a thing that just kind of has taken off. It's faddish in a way. There's probably an underground movement where it's almost like idolized to be like a shooter, and then you top that off with a whole bunch of mental illness that all the rates of mental illness are up. Everyone says everyone has depression and anxiety and is taking SSRIs and their brains are fucking scrambled from bed rotting 24/7. So you got these people that are like super unhealthy and there's guns everywhere and it's just a thing. Like it's like again, if you're what do they call them? The dudes that like can't get laid or whatever. What's that word?
Recluse? No,
No,
no.
incels or yeah, is that what it is? No, there's a term. I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll post it in the comments.
Okay.
But anyways, it's like yeah, this like underground movement where that thing is looked at as like you'll be heroic, your life sucks, and you'll be a hero. But anyway, I kind of went off on that one.
Yeah. So, and kind of rabbit hole again. So let's say I'm a kid. I find my mom, dad gun. I take it and I commit that atrocity. I'm gonna call it an atrocity. How much blame should be put on that parent? Because you see,
I mean,
people are getting hemmed up for that now.
yeah, I mean, with the access to the weapon and stuff, I mean, yeah, it's like it's real gray territory. Um, honestly, I don't know. I don't know how you handle that.
Yeah. Because even
Because
afterwards,
raising kids is crazy, and sometimes people get in situations where certain things are out of their hands, and yeah, that's a tough one.
yeah, the ones I'm seeing, I never seen the parent or anybody say is, "Oh, he would never do that." It always seemed like there was an inkling that, hey, this kid might be, or he had some previous thing that happened or whatever that this kid might be, and what we say profiling, right? That this kid might have had the profile to commit something like that. So yeah, yeah, I don't know. Lock your guns up. Like, come on now.
Yeah,
Especially if you
absolutely.
know.
At a minimum,
Yeah.
especially if you know you got a potentially problematic child in your house.
Exactly. All right, we're going to switch tone a little bit and go to some of the cool stuff of AI and robotics. So let's go to that one.
Robot future once imagined only in science fiction suddenly feels a lot more real. Chinese robotics company Unitree Robotics has officially introduced the GD01, a massive man-transformable mecha that is already creating huge buzz online. Reports published today claim the machine starts at around $650,000, making it one of the most ambitious civilian robotics projects ever shown to the public. The GD01 is not a small humanoid robot like many people are used to seeing from Unitree. This machine is designed to carry a human pilot inside while walking, transforming, and maneuvering through real environments.
All right, so we got the mech suit finally.
I
So
know, dude. I used to love playing video games as like you're a mech warrior just shooting shit. Man, that was
yeah,
so cool.
or we're like Aliens. Was that Aliens 2 where she fought with the loader? Yeah, so everybody.
Yeah, 100%. She like grabbed the thing by its neck. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean we're getting there. So let me ask you a question. In your mind, how far are you willing to go with robotics? Like, would you have a robot in your home? Would you go, who knows affordability of these things, but if we go to the mech suit or some type of enhanced limbs and things like that, or exoskeleton, are you willing to go that far, or kind of where you at if as this thing progresses?
I mean, I feel like when it comes to tech in my personal life, I always lag a little bit behind. But I eventually adopt things and get on board. So I wouldn't be an early adopter when people are first getting their mechs and they're out there like using it to move sandbags or whatever they're doing around the house, or building a shed or something. I wouldn't get it right away, but once it was proliferated and I could get a hold of it at a reasonable price, I'm probably running around in a mech as well.
Oh, you're on first gen, we're on third gen, you brokey.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right? People would make fun of me because even then I'd probably buy like last year's model.
Exactly.
They'd
Got
be
the
like,
head
"Oh,
there.
dude." Yeah.
But shit, like I looked at that big ass mech suit. Oh no, I'm not for that. But something and there's stuff out there that kind of like limb enhancement or enhance like kind of if you want to like go and run or walk and just decreases your physical fatigue and take some of the load off. And come on now, we done carry rucksacks and things of that nature. So everybody looking like, oh Lord, something, even the robots, they got the robots where you kind of, you put your ruck on and it takes it where you need it to be and follows the troops and all that stuff. So yeah, it's coming. I think the problem is ultimately going to be, I mean, for our generation, it's always going to be affordability. Come on, we just talked about the last episode about, you know, groceries and how much beef it is right now. So I don't think on the common person's mind is anything in reference to robotics. I think, and obviously when we say robotics, a lot of people just think robot, like a humanoid robot. But again, we talk about robots, we got the Roomba's a robot, right? Anything that kind of holds code and is able to do something autonomously, is a robot. So I think folks should just really just start realizing that robots are probably already in your home in some form or fashion, whether it be your little smart speaker or you might have a little robot pet. I know those are pretty popular also, but it's gonna keep going, and they spending so much money. It kind of one of those things that for some of these companies, it's going to have to work, or it's going to be like, where do we spend all this R&D money on for these past years and hype this thing up? Not to mention obviously Elon and his and Optimus and things of that nature. That's probably the most popular right now, but it is gonna, you know, I'm surprised that we probably see these things on the battlefield, humanoid type in the next, few years. I think we are going to see that though. Um,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, yeah, it's going to happen eventually. But with these mechs, I mean, I picture them being really useful because you're right, like they're probably super expensive and but so is like farm equipment or industrial equipment. So I see it being like in factories or working on farm, moving shit around, stuff like that. And then it's like maybe down the road, people start having shit like that actually in their home, or who knows, something else at that point. But initially, that's what I thought of. It's like maybe it's just because I grew up in the country, but like having a mech like that on the farm where you're stacking hay bales or moving shit around, or maybe even got to pick up like a horse that's sick or something. You're like, well, I can't do it, but old mech suit can.
Exactly. So yeah, so we'll see how this going. I saw something funny on the internet. I guess they had this not this robot related. They had robots run like a marathon, a half marathon or something, and like it was just all different types of robots. But these things was like stumbling all over the place and just kind of going crazy. So, is they're here and it's going to happen. I think the play that most folks are going to try to use to get it in the home is going to have to be an insurance type of play of some type of medical need. That's probably going to be the first one, right? Some type of medical need to either have some type of mech, some type of bio. I mean, we see some, with the limbs and things of that nature now, right? So some type of mech suit, some type of assistive robot or whatever. Once I think the code gets cracked on how that can get funded through some type of insurance program, then we'll see it slowly progress into everyday household use and like that. So I mean, I'm here for it. I want to see see where this train goes. So eh.
Yeah. But it starts with insurance, then it turns into a scam.
You want a robot, man? Let's say you got this.
Yeah. Yeah. Only if you're an illegal immigrant.
I said I got ED. I wanted a
Yeah.
sexy robot.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
So, all right, that's all. Like I said, we're just gonna keep it. Those three videos, just kind of keep it tech related. Like I said, just watching the news. Obviously, I got time to do that now. It's just like kind of crazy. So we'll see where we headed. Obviously, heading into midterms and everything. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a bevy of content to talk about. So.
Yeah. Yeah. There'll be no shortage of a shit going on.
Yeah. I never say this because I always think it sounds super corny, but obviously everybody, if you're listening, like, comment, subscribe, goes a long way. If you like Matt and how he speaks and his smooth voice or whatever, make sure you check out Minds of Formation. Found on all platforms. I'll put the link in the description and also I'll show a picture of the the podcast picture that you can find if you got a on a iPod, iPhone or whatever.
Yeah.
The iPhone
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. We're
podcast.
showing our age a little bit there.
Exactly, right.
iPod days. Dang.
So, man, I'll be up next week, man. I'll hit you up when I'm up there, man.
All right, bro. We'll see you
All right,
soon.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Later.